Good day. Today I will lead you through the three different financial models for each of the three options. The first option was to rent out the apartment unfurnished on a year-to-year basis. Before building the model, some assumptions were made. The key assumptions to note are that firstly that the property value will grow at a constant yearly rate. This was determined using previous values given and was used to find the value in 2023. Secondly, that the decision was made to laminate the floors, as this increases the value of the apartment and its aesthetic value, making it easier to rent and sell. We set 12% of the rental income aside for maintenance of the apartment. We were prudent in our decision for this amount to ensure that the worst case scenario can be catered for. The key parts to note in our model are firstly the refinancing of the mortgage to pay for our initial improvements. And secondly is our calculation of the total capital gain on which we need to pay tax in the year 2023. In our cash flow table, we note the refinancing of the mortgage in the year 0, and in the final year we can see the sale of the apartment and the repayment of the remainder of the mortgage. Using all our calculations, we determined that the net present value of this option to be roughly 429,652,000 rand. For our second option, furnishing the apartment and short-term renting it, our model is as follows. First, we made some key assumptions to note. The key assumptions to note here is that we estimated our rent income using an Airbnb online calculator. Using the results from this calculator, we estimated that the monthly income to be 10,500 Rand per month, which then escalates by inflation each year. Since the short-term rental is a more hands-on approach, we reduced the maintenance cost percentage to 8% of the yearly rent income, and we estimated that the cleaning services would cost us 2,000 Rand a month. This was roughly calculated using the minimum wage allowed for domestic workers and by comparing the amounts other short-term renters paid. Our cost and income calculations are very similar to that of option 1, with the only differences being the initial cost of the improvements, the refinancing and payment of a yearly mortgage, and the personal income and rental expenses. In the cash flow table, we can once again note that the mortgage refinancing in our first year and the sale and the apartment and the sale of the apartment and the repayment of the mortgage in the final year. For this option, we find that our final net present value is equal to 459,622 Rand. For the final option was to sell the apartment and to invest what is left over after all the costs and mortgages were paid off. We calculated this amount which can be invested to be 403,400 Rand. And the following assumptions were made. Firstly, it was for this model we would use 3 old mutual unit funds to invest in. The growth and the return on the investment is calculated using the past performance of the fund from an online calculator given by the Old Mutual website. We also assume that no tax is paid on the interest on the investment, but only on the final payout of the investment. The growth of the investment will be similar to the fund's past performance, and the service fees of the investment will be included in the calculation of the final growth amount after the 5 years. Here are 3 investment options. The first investment option is the money market fund, which is a low risk investment option that provides a return just a bit higher than inflation. The second is the balance fund, which is medium risk and has a slightly higher return. The global equity fund provides the highest return but is also the highest risk profile. We decided to invest 60% in the low risk profile to ensure that we get a return on our investment and then we further played our chances with by investing 20% in each of the higher risk profiles. It is estimated that it is an estimated growth of 235,120 Rand was calculated. Sorry about the sound. And after paying that, we were left with 203,000 Rand. And our final net present value is 116,290 Rand. Now we have to evaluate our options. Option 2 is the highest risk out of the three. The short-term renting market is very volatile and the actual amount of income cannot be guaranteed. This option also requires a lot of hands-on attention to be successful. It therefore requires too much time and carries too much risk to be feasible for you as a single mother and a professional engineer at a large corporation. Option 3 has the least risk out of the three. It is an investment in a relatively safe fund with two high risk profiles. This option also requires the least involvement and time and can be left until the payout period. But this option has the lowest net present value. Option 1 has some risk, but it can be reasonably managed. This option still provides a high net present value and does not require a lot of time to manage. We had therefore decided that option 1 would be the best option for you, as it is the one where you, with the highest that you can get the highest net present value for the most reasonable amount of risk.